What's the matter, Jimmy? Mad at somebody? What's the matter, Jimmy? Jimmy? What's the matter?
I went downtown today, Mom. Just to get a little part-time job in the shipping room department store. I didn't want to tell you and Pop about it until I was sure I got the job. Stood in line with all those white people around me. They took every white boy in line in front of me. When it came to me, they just told me I had no more hope. I didn't pay it no mind. I just started to walk off. But then I seen the white boy in back of me. He got the job. That's when I left. As I was leaving, one of the little white boys said, "Damn niggas, they think they can get in on everything." I just heard it as the door closed.
Oh, Jimmy. It's hard to explain white people to you. But remember that time you went to George's house? Remember how his grandmother got upset because he brought a colored friend home? You seem to have gotten over that all right. What makes this so different? Why did this hurt so much more?
I just thought with all the talk lately, maybe they might take me. I don't know why. I just thought so. This is a democracy, Mom, isn't it? I've got as much right as anybody else, haven't I? Don't I, Ma? I've got as much right as anybody else.
That's right, boy, you do.
I know, Mom. But I just feel like giving up altogether. You say try hard. Try hard to make yourself something. Well, what's the sense when I know this is only going to happen to me every time I try to do anything?
But it makes a lot of sense, Jimmy. You got to be ready when the breaks come. And the only way to be ready is to stay in school and be prepared. A lot of our people have had a rough time, but it didn't stop them. And don't let it stop you. Let it spur you on, boy. And you keep working, and it's bound to get better.
I just know that there's no use for a colored person to try hard. They just won't let us be anything good. Sure, a few colored people get by, but not Jimmy Carroll. No, sir. I can still hear them. Hey, boy, get out of here, nigga. Mom, that's how it is. And that's how it's always going to be.
No, boy. You got to be prepared. Because sooner or later it's got to get better.
Mom.
My baby.
Something the matter with you, boy? What's bothering you?
Nothing's bothering me. I'm just tired, that's all.
He's all right. Just doesn't feel very well.
Don't hand me that. Something is the matter. Tell me.
Well, I went downtown. Just get a little part-time job in a grand department store.
And they wouldn't hire you because you're colored. Does that upset you? Didn't you know what to expect? I told you enough times. You can never get as good a job as a white fella. Can't you take my word for it? You might as well give up, son. I know. I tried. I went to night school. Studied bookkeeping. I was the only Negro in class. And if I do say so, I made the best marks in the class. Graduation time, the school placement bureau had jobs waiting for every member of the class, except me. All right, I said. If I can't get a job through the placement bureau, find my own job. I run down every bookkeeper wanted that I could see. I used a telephone. It looked encouraging till I would get there. And it'd say, sorry, job is filled. So I decided if they won't let me be what I want to be, I'll be what they want me to be. I took this job here. I've been happy. Get well paid. Got a union. No strain. No trouble. I even hold an office in the union. Secretary-treasurer. That way I get to use some of my bookkeeping.
But I don't want to be a red cap.
Nobody says you got to. But you know where you want it and where you're not wanted. There are plenty of good jobs you could take without butting your head against a stone wall.
As I remember, you didn't always talk like that, John.
Oh, Jim, look at me and the telephone company. Why, 20 years ago, that was just unheard of. They wouldn't even look at us, let alone hire us. I do my work, and when I do it well, I get a promotion. You know, you can't push these people into doing things. You have to let them do it in their own time. Golly, you're a smart kid. I thought you were wise enough to know this.
Somebody had to push.
Anyway, why did you go down there? I thought you could get a job on the corner drugstore with Dr. Cohen. You know, it's time you started to learn that there's no use trying too hard. That's all.
They just won't let you be anything but what they want you to be, Jimmy boy.
Gosh, I'm late again. Phil will kill me. Oh, don't feel bad, Jim. We're all in the same boat. I'm surprised you didn't realize it.
I didn't just realize it. I've been thinking about it for a long time. I know what it means when somebody's disliked by somebody else just because of the color. Look, I want to be something. I want to be something good. I want to be what I want to be, and not what the white people want me to be.
That's right, boy. No point living if you can't do what you want to do. You work hard and you be the best possible Jimmy you can be. It's the only point in life, is there? Come, boy. Let's go.
I wish you wouldn't push the boy, Vanette. You're only gonna get him hurt. Education never meant nothing but trouble to me.
Today we're going to talk about clouds. And Daniel, I'd like you to get us and tell us about the 3 factors that make up the weather.
3 factors that make up the weather are temperature, moisture, and air movement.
Very good. Elsa, would you
Kindly tell us how many basic cloud formations are there?
There are 4. The names are cirrus, cumulus, stratus, and nebulous.
Excellent. Jimmy, would you please tell us something about the formation of clouds?
Jimmy, I asked you a question. Would you please stand up?
I wasn't paying attention. I didn't hear the question.
Will you please come back and see me after your last class?
You said you want to see me, Mr. Brown?
Oh, yes, Jimmy. I want to speak with you. Jimmy, what's the matter?
Nothing.
You used to be one of my best students. Now I feel you never pay any attention. What's the trouble? What's the matter, Jimmy? Is there anything wrong? At home? School?
No.
Look, Jimmy, I want to help. Won't you please let me do something?
It's no use.
What's no use?
Being colored and trying to do something. They just won't let us.
Now, Jim, that's just plain foolish. If you're going to believe that, you'll never get anywhere in this world. Why don't you sit down and let's talk this over.
You wouldn't understand, Mr. Brown. But I went to get a job at the Grand Department Store. And they wouldn't hire me because I was colored. I didn't mind them calling me names. But the way they did it made me see that I could never hope to do anything that I want to do. I decided from that day that I wasn't going to waste my time trying to do something that I know I just haven't got a chance at.
Jimmy, almost every Negro at one time or another has felt what you're feeling now. But those of us who've made some success of our lives have done so only because we refuse to remain discouraged.
Yeah, but so few colored people get the chance to do anything.
Now you make me feel like a bad teacher. There's so much history of the Negro that's available to you. Or if it isn't, it should be. Go to the library and read. And don't spend your life feeling beaten. You know, Jimmy, the Negro in this country is under great pressure. But the total picture in the last 100 years is of great progress. Jimmy, you're not the only one in this. Are the militant students of the South beaten? Are the peoples of the new nations of Africa discouraged? When I was going to school at your age, I had some very good teachers. But unfortunately, I had some who told me I shouldn't go to college because I was a Negro. But with the help of others, I refused to accept this because I wanted to improve my life. You told me that you want to be an architect. Is that right?
Yes.
Well, I happen to know some people, Jimmy, who, in spite of their difficulties, have made a really great success. One of them happens to be an architect. How would you like to spend an afternoon going around to see some of these people?
Yes, I guess I like that.
It's good seeing you again. This is Jimmy I was telling you about on the phone. Jimmy, this is Mr. Irving Collins, my old schoolmate.
Hello, Jimmy. Pleased to meet you.
Irving's going to show us around upstairs.
Wow, this is some machine. How does this thing work?
Well, Jimmy, we use this machine to keep track of our inventory. By turning these dials here, we can dial in something that we have in stock, and we'll find out whether or not we can send it to our customer.
Jimmy here has the notion that because he's a Negro, he's not going to get any opportunities. I'm trying to convince him that he has to get all the schooling and training he can get in order to be well prepared.
He's got to know. This is the biggest thing. I had to go to get additional schooling in order to know. It's the people who know can handle these complicated machines. And in this type of business, it's the person's knowledge, not his color, that will get him the job.
Sure, I felt that I couldn't become the supervisor of this cafeteria, but I tried anyway. What I did is I attended school and prepared myself. And during my period of training, I was told by my colleagues, there's no sense you going to school. You never amount to anything. You just wind up being a pot washer or a head dishwasher. But I felt confident to myself that I could make it to the top.
Well, how did you become a supervisor in this large hotel? It wasn't just luck, was it?
No, I wouldn't consider it luck. I walked in the hotel, I filled out an application. The personnel director felt I had the qualifications. He sent me to the food and beverage manager. He felt likewise, and I gave me the position. Since then, I've proven myself.
Didn't you ever get discouraged when somebody turned you down just because you were colored?
Sure, I got discouraged, but I didn't quit. I felt confident to myself that I was ready to compete with anybody.
Excuse me, Mr. Gaffer, what are you going to do with those things?
What I'd like you to take the pastrami and heat it in the steamer, and we're going to make some hot potato salad with this. Just add some onions and some green pepper. Season it to taste, okay? Good. Enjoy. So what I found out so far, that the key to success is getting along with people. I came here and I won the confidence of my employees by working with them instead of just coming here and driving them. I get them to the point where they like me. Now, they would do anything in the world for me.
I came here a few years ago as a laboratory aide, and the field was pretty new at that time. Not too much was known about these things. And I took advantage of all the opportunities I could to learn as much as possible. Because the field was so new when I first started, I sort of grew up with it.
Is it merely a matter of training, or does a person have to bring something special to their work as a laboratory technician in a blood bank?
Yes, I think skill and training are desirable and important, but also the technician should be the kind of person who is willing to take a sort of personal responsibility, because this can be so dangerous.
Why is it so dangerous?
It's so dangerous because people's lives can depend on it.
I want you to meet Ed. Ed, this is Jimmy.
Hi, Jimmy.
Hello, Ed. You work on jets too?
Yes, I do.
Ed works on many kinds of planes here. Ed, I remember when we were kids together, we always used to kid you because you were so fascinated by airplanes. How do you ever talk to each other in this noise?
Sometimes it's pretty difficult.
Didn't you ever get discouraged when you couldn't get the job you wanted?
Oh, yes. Quite often I was discouraged. But working on aircraft has been a lifelong dream. And I believe that if you want something bad enough, you'll just keep on trying over and over again.
Fine. I want you to meet Jimmy. Jimmy, this is Mr. Matthias.
How are you, Jimmy? Well, will you two take seats?
All right.
Chair there for you. Stool for you, Jimmy. Sit down.
You mean to say you really designed this building?
Why, of course. Here is an overall plan of the whole structure.
And people really built them?
Yes, people build from these drawings. We prepare them and turn them over to a builder, and he builds the building from it.
I've always wanted to draw things and see them being built, but I didn't know what was involved. I bet you had to have a lot of schooling, didn't you?
Yes, you do have to have quite a bit of schooling. You must have a high school diploma, spend about 5 years in college, and about 3 years as an apprentice to an architect before you're a licensed architect.
The trouble is, Willis, many young Negroes are not encouraged to go into difficult fields like architecture, and as a result, they feel it's a waste of time to put a lot of effort into a goal which they feel is out of their reach. However, as I was telling Jimmy, it wasn't easy for you after school, was it?
No, it wasn't. I had my degree, but then came the long period of tramping the streets looking for a job. You see, I had the degree, but no experience. And officers are reluctant to take you on with such credentials. Now, I had a number of references from my professors. Now, I reached some of these people by telephone, and the telephone conversations were very encouraging. But when you face them in person, the story was a little bit different. Now, I went on at this, tramping the streets for about 6 months. Finally, I had to give it up, principally because of my financial status. And then I took a job at a racetrack.
And that didn't bother you?
Yes, it did bother me. But the goal that I had in sight remained in sight. This was just a temporary delay in my progress to that goal.
Seems like I've always wanted to draw things and see them being built, but I don't think that I can ever do it.
Well, why not? I've always had the ambition to draw things and see them built. There's nothing gave me greater pleasure than to see a vacant lot and suddenly a shovel appear, dig a hole, and the steel work go up, then the concrete work, then the masonry and the windows, and then the people going in, and they realize that all this is prepared from a few lines on a piece of paper.
That should be an example for you.
Well, maybe I can do it.
You've got to try. That's the only way you can make the things you want to happen.
That's true, and this is exactly what happened with me.
Maybe I can do it. Maybe it could happen. But I remember seeing that colored architect in that room with all those people around. He just stood out among everybody, just drawing things and seeing them being built. That's what I want to do. I want to be an architect.
Sure, son. Sure, there are a few Negroes with good jobs. The ones the white folks set up to show off. But don't you realize, Jimmy, the majority of us can't get those jobs.
John, don't discourage the boy. His teacher spent a lot of time trying to help him today.
What kind of help is it when he's only going to work his heart out? The white people own everything. They just won't let you in.
Guess you're right, Dad, but...
No, son, he's not right. Things are changing all the time. It's very different from the way it was when you were young, John.
Still, folks trying to convince the Negro he has an equal chance. Then when he tries to take that chance, to slam the door in his face.
But
Let's
Dad,
be friends. You know I'm
Dad,
right.
I just dream of being an architect.
That's right, boy. You got a dream.
Yeah.
We've been coming here for a long time, and each time we come, it seems farther away.
What am I going to do, Gramps?
You know what my answer to that is, Jimmy?
How come you're so big on education? You've got none yourself.
Maybe that's why. Labor is cheap. Time is coming when the man without an education is out. I've seen it happen. And your daddy was a little boy like you. I worked at any dirty job that I could find to give him an education. You don't think I like to clean toilets? But I wanted my boy to have something which I did not have.
That's what Pop's always talking about.
He tried, and I don't blame him. He gave up. Lots of people gave up then, and lots are still giving up. Your daddy had a hard time. He got hurt. Things are better now than they were then. You have even a better chance than he had.
What if I do get an education and find that I still can't make it? Then what? You know, Pop's got a point.
He's just bitter. I should be the one to be bitter.
If I can only be like that architect, designing things, then having people build them. That's what I want to be, Gramps. An architect. Who knows? Maybe one day I just might be famous.
I'm just an old man without an education. I never was good for anything but hard work. But you, boy, you get yourself tools to work with so that you will be something. Every Negro who gets somewhere is an example, an educator for the whites around him. If I can see that, so should you. You got to start somewhere.
I guess I've already started, when you look at it that way. I know what I want to be. I know I can get good marks. But there's something inside of me. It's just so hard.
Your experience has nothing to do with the other fellow. Just because he is discouraged, you have no right to be. You're a person with a mind, an individual. You got to be better than the other fellow, and you can be.
I guess you're right, Gramps. I guess you're right. There really isn't anything in the future for me, unless I work for it. Then there still might not be anything there. But I guess I'll have to try, and try real hard.
Wait for me.